talk a little bit about a couple of different things we've got coming up. Let's have a wee look, because you did send across the checklist. And now
we've got Saturday night's main event this weekend. This weekend, Billy, and we did not need to spend an awful long amount of time talking about.
You don't know anything about
it. Exactly, because I think that WWE have put as much thought into it as we need to right now. But nonetheless, do we want to run through predictions really, really quickly?
Sure, I believe the main event, Hulk Hogan versus Jesse Ventura, is going to be a SmackDown slobber knocker. If Hogan's on the show, why are they? Because
he's an official sponsor now, isn't he? With his real American beer, brother.
It can't be that much money. It can't be that much money. I know he's got that Gawker money from his sex tape, right? I know he's got 80 million in the bank or whatever the fuck it was, which he wouldn't have got all of. Let's face it. It can't be that much money, man. It can't be that much money. You know what, Hogan? You're better off going to the fucking Trump route. I think WWE's done for you. I really genuinely do. I think that might be the end of the wrestling time for Hulk Hogan.
It's a different time, man.
It's because of a lot of stuff that's gone on. We don't need Hulk Hogan. Oh, and then that fucking speech, Jesus Christ. I even just can't keep thinking about it.
Listen. Let's move on from Hogan. We will. Right, there is 4 matches announced for Saturday night's main event, including and then also a segment on top of that. I believe there's a contract signing, which as we know is always great. Shawn Michaels is the mediator.
Is exciting.
yes. Exactly.
Admin is always so exciting, Ryan.
I guess we don't really need to predict what's going to happen, because I can take a wild assumption, Billy. Cody will enter, Shawn will enter, Cody will enter, Kevin will enter, have argument at table, Kevin Owens powerbombs Cody Rhodes through table, and segment ends.
Imagine they turn up and it's just a podium and they're like, what the fuck?
Where's the table?
Look,
where is the table?
I'm calling it out here. There's just a podium. I'm just going to have to shove it up your ass for this contract signing. How do we feel about that?
Well, there you go. Right, let's start from the bottom. Match number 1, Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax.
Yep.
Out of nowhere, no build at all, really. Surely just some padding for Rhea Ripley to get her first defence over and done with.
I think that's it in a nutshell, and I'm really, really worried about this Rhea Ripley reign, which is not easy to say. I'm really worried about this reign because it feels like Rhea does not feel like she's had the momentum back or the same momentum since WrestleMania, since SummerSlam. And now she's regained the championship. I just feel like, I don't know, man. We need to do something different with Rhea. We really, really do. This is losing it. This feels like it's losing a step every week.
I agree.
I love Rhea Ripley. I think she's fantastic.
Was it just me on the most recent episode of Raw? See when her music hit and she came out?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I kind of sighed. I kind of went, oh. Like, that's the point I'm getting to. I'm a wee bit fatigued.
Well, it's suffering from a little bit of Super Cena, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly that. And like I think that's a compliment in the sense that we knew how good Cena was, and how big a talent and main eventer he was and stuff like that. That's Rhea. She's great, but there's just a bit of a fatigue with the way that she's presented to us.
Yeah, and that's what it's. So I think it'll be a fine match. It does feel like padding. It really, really does. That's why we need something big from Rhea. I mean, part of me thinks, like, I know I said it and it sounds ridiculous, but Jordan Grace winning the square go, it's up, beg your pardon,
square go. You can keep dreaming. You can keep dreaming there.
Wow, double duty in the same night. Good for her. We'll have a megabus ready. Her winning, I don't know. Does Rhea need to turn out? Are they going to keep her face till Mania? What's next? So. Where's the feud? Where's the feud? It needs to be something. She can't go back to Dom just yet. They can't go back to the Dom thing unless that is the feud. But she's also doing that as the women's world champion. You know, and I get it. You look around and you go, there's no one else. There's no one else right now who's coming up. I mean, I can think of a dozen female wrestlers that she would work with who she'll have great matches with. I feel like she's already done Nia to death with Nia Jax, so I don't think that's a route. We need some fresh blood in that section of the division. We really, really do, because the champion's only as good as the last opponent. And yeah, Rhea needs relevance. Rhea needs relevance. She's
I agree with everything you're saying.
She is a superstar. So sending her away at this time of year, I can appreciate that wouldn't be the ideal thing. We've done the injury thing before, after that big build up. Maybe her versus, I don't know, her versus Becky or her versus Charlotte doesn't excite me much either, to be honest with you. It doesn't excite me much either. So it's a tricky one.
I think out of all of them, Rhea and Charlotte is the one that I'd happily see a rematch of, because at least that's been a couple of years. Yeah. Whereas Becky just literally happened at last year's Mania, and I don't know. They need to get creative with it, man. That's all I can say. They need to get creative with it.
Unless there's an angle here which is a surprise title loss, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I don't see it at all. I'd be stunned, in fact.
Fucking stunned.
So are you predicting Rhea as well then?
Yeah, it's sad. I know that sounds terrible, but it's like, it feels like a foregone conclusion, which is not something that we wrestling fans get excited about.
No, of course not. But however, match number 2 I'm a bit excited for, because I think it could be really fun. Now, I wish there was a stipulation, but it's Braun Strowman against Jacob Fatu, and what could be a classic hoedown of a wrestling match, Billy Kirkwood.
Big boys doing big boy things. That's what we want. That's what we want. Braun Strowman is fantastic. Can I just say that he never gets enough love? He
deserves his flowers, man.
He is fantastic. He never got that world title reign we wanted to, and there was a point where he was so phenomenally popular. It seemed like Braun's the guy. Braun is the guy, and then he got released. So they cut off his legs on that one. And Jacob Fatu, I think, is fantastic. This is a big match for Jacob Fatu. Let's not fuck about. This is a big match for Jacob Fatu. We don't know where he is as the proxy new leader of the bloodline. We don't quite
see
know
him
what's going on there.
So rarely in singles competition as well.
Yeah, and pushing him. Part of me feels like it's a little early. Like it feels like it's a little early. Like I wanted people to be really, really ready for the. I don't think we call him the Wolverine in WWE because of obviously.
Oh, they do, yeah. They've got him in a T-shirt. They've got.
That's all right. That's all right.
They just never really drop it on commentary or anything. Yeah. But like when he first turned up, they used it a couple of times, and they have got the Wolverine T-shirt as his merch.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine because last person to use Wolverine. Moving on. I hate bringing it up, but it's the first thing I thought when I heard the name.
Maybe that's why they don't. Maybe that's why they don't drop it on commentary all that often.
I'd imagine. Although you could argue it's distant history now. Yeah. But moving on to the match, I'm calling it. I don't see Jacob losing. Unless there's shenanigans.
No, of course not.
Unless
I don't think so.
And shenanigans, the only person I could see causing those shenanigans would be Solo Sikoa, which on Saturday night's main event, you got to wonder how many people will be dialed into what the product is.
Yeah. I don't think this is the stage for, there's a good chance that it's going to be Solo versus Jacob at Mania. There's a good chance it might be that. But I don't think they start that at Saturday night's main event. And I think that they're in a really difficult position where Jacob Fatu is far too hot at the minute to be losing matches. And no offense to Braun, because as I said, he deserves his flowers because he's somebody who I've been so critical of in the past. And
very much
he
so,
always puts on an entertaining match, and he really does well at putting folk over. And I think that's exactly why he's in this situation for this match. But I just think it's too early to maybe. I think that we need to wait till the Rumble for a wee bit of tension to start building between Solo and Jacob.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like the right time, to be honest. It's hey, big guys doing big guy things. Maybe that would have been the rematch for Bronson Reed going into the Rumble, maybe to assert dominance going into the Rumble. Assert dominance, I don't know what I think is going to fucking go on, but you know what I mean? It would have been a way to channel that. It makes you wonder, has Jacob Fatu been put into that Bronson Reed slot? You know, because there was rumours that Bronson was at one point a favourite for the Royal Rumble. So I don't think Jacob Fatu should be winning the Royal Rumble, not this year. I'm a little long to, and the wider scope, I'm a little concerned about it. But I'm calling Jacob Fatu to win it. I just don't as much. I don't see what Braun benefits. Braun benefits from winning it. There you go.
Exactly. I think as long as he puts something entertaining on, That's what people like him for anyway. Results don't really matter with Braun, it feels like.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yes, no, completely. Yeah, he kind of.
I hope you do. I hope you do anyway.
I don't know who Braun works with next in singles or tags or what have you. It's always a concern with these big guys that are a realistic threat to absolutely everyone. Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea who's next. I have no idea who's next. So I'm calling Jacob on that one as well. Braun would be a surprise with shenanigans.
Yeah. Okay. Right,
someone
that's
getting
fine.
pumped. I don't know.
That's fine. Okay. Somebody getting pumped.
I don't know. I just somebody getting pumped.
Wow.
This is out.
Right, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship, Billy.
Come on, Sheamus. What
do you think it could happen? It would be the only surprise on this show that I could realistically see if they want to give us a surprise.
If Sheamus loses, it's got to be career match.
Right, okay.
It's got to be the next step. It's got to be career match.
Yeah, okay.
At Mania.
I like that. Right, I like that. I'm actually a huge fan of that. I mean, the only thing is, and this is where maybe this is where the whole lines of this is why I hate so much of kayfabe being gone and so much of the curtain dropping, because that's the kind of match that now that I know he's just signed a 5-year extension, like, you know that he's not going to lose a career match because he's just signed a 5-year fucking deal to wrestle for the next 5 years.
But I do wonder if Sheamus got 5 years in him.
I don't know. He must think so if he signed a 5-year deal, Billy.
He's so good at selling. He always looks so fucked after a match.
All the time, aye.
Absolutely
all the time. Billy, I love the idea of a career match. I feel like we've not seen one.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time we've seen one? Genuinely.
Or an Iron Man match, or 2 out of 3 falls, or something. Something with a real sense of he could win this. He could win this. Because beyond the WrestleMania moment, I guess there's one for you. I mean, Sheamus did win the world title at WrestleMania. I know everyone might have forgotten that, but did beat Daniel Bryan in 10 seconds.
Yes, 18 seconds.
Yeah, 18 seconds, that's right. But has he had that moment? That moment?
Nah, not really. Not a mania moment, has he? Like, I could run through his... So, got beat off Triple H, and then I think he was in some sort of, like, multi-man tag match. Then it was the Bryan moment, and then I think it was another multi-man tag match. 30, I can't even remember him being at. 31, I can't remember him being... He returned the night after 31. 32, he was in a match with the League of Nations. 33... I
fucking forgot about the League of Nations.
33 and 34, he was in tag matches, I think.
Yeah.
35, I don't know if he was at. 36, don't know if he was at. 37, he faced... Matt Riddle for the US Championship.
Wow.
38, I don't think he was at. 39, the triple threat, huge match, but didn't win it. Was probably his best Mania match ever. And then 40, he wasn't at. So he's had a really kind of underwhelming WrestleMania career, hasn't he?
Yes, he really has. He really has. It'd be nice to have him to get that moment. I don't know, for shits and gigs, maybe this is just going to be the big feud that he's going to carry across Monday Night Raw. Build big Braun, little mid-size, I don't know. Braun, the other Braun up to superstar level. Who has recovered quite well from losing the title to Sammy briefly. No, he didn't lose it to Sammy. Jey. Recovered quite well from that, pretty quick. So for shits and gigs, I'm going to say Sheamus.
Oh, wow. You're going for the Sheamus.
For shits and gigs, because maybe this will become like a feud on Monday Night Raw, them going after the titles, maybe a jump back and forth, and then they're like, we need to sort this out, and we're sorting out at WrestleMania. Although WrestleMania is 3 fucking months away. It's 3 months away, and that feels so fucking far.
I'm going to go Braun.
Why not?
And I think that this is maybe leading to some sort of multi-man intercontinental match at Mania because of the way that it's been tied in with Ludwig. We're hearing that Ilya Dragunov is almost back because he's recovered at Super Cena pace. I don't know. I'm just going to go for Braun for now, but I want Sheamus to win it, man. I want
Sheamus to win it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I want Sheamus to win it.
And that leads us to the main event, the final match of the evening, Billy, for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Gunther defending against main event Jey Uso. What are you thinking?
Gunther's winning.
Okay.
Gunther's winning. I just think Gunther's winning. The money match is a Mania. If this was at WrestleMania, I would say Jey's winning.
Right.
I think Gunther's winning and going in as a top seed at the and is going in as a top seed at the Royal Rumble, because that leaves the potential of title versus title, Cody versus Gunther again.
Yeah, sure. Good point.
I just feel like Gunther's winning. I'd be delighted if Jey won. I just don't know if Saturday night's main event is the place to do it.
Well, that is the big point for me, because do you know what? Because I don't want to have just the one difference between our predictions this time round. I'm going to say I have a feeling Jey is going to win.
Nice.
I'm going to put Jey. I'm going to say Jey just to change it up. But I'm a huge Gunther fan. We all know that. I've got my Gunther's behind me and all the rest of it. I love Gunther. He's one of my favourites, right? And I don't want him to lose here. But I think there is a part of me that just can see Jey winning it for a short reign between now. Even I wouldn't be surprised. Jey's the kind of guy that could win it at Saturday night's main event and lose it at the bloody Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? That is the kind of guy Jey Uso is. And I don't mean that with disrespect, but it's like he's a guy that pops the crowd. He's a guy that very much knows his limitations, I think, in the ring. And like, I just think that he's the kind of guy that could do that with. Now, the only reason if this was genuinely, Billy, I mean this when I say this, if this was happening next week, I'd be all in on Jey. I think Jey would be winning it if it was the Royal Rumble. Okay. But because it's Saturday night main event, I think it probably leans a bit more towards Gunther. But I'll go with Jey for my prediction, just to change it up.
No, I think that both scenarios are interesting, and that's what's, I guess, the big draw of Saturday night's main event. It just feels like this one is kind of falling through the grate. Which,
it's big time.
In saying that, though, we just can't have every fucking show be around advertising every other fucking show. Like, we just can't have that. Netflix are not going to be interested. Obviously, there was a big drop off on Monday Night Raw from week 1 to week 2, which was always going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, it was,
I don't think there's anything to worry about quite yet. Although I did think it was interesting, the number of people that were reporting that in the 10-year deal there is a 5-year get out slot, and I did find myself going like, "Oh, interested in bringing that up." Just a wee reminder. But in saying that, I don't think WWE could chuck anything more at their Monday Night Raw product and make it sustainable.
No. And look, listen, they can't. I've used this phrase loads today. I feel like maybe once or twice already. They can't blow the load. They can't give you all. They can't give you it all in the first few weeks. You know, they're not a hooker. They can't give you it in the first night, which they did, but they can't keep doing that. And I'm glad you enjoyed that one.
They're not a hooker. You heard it here first.
They're not a hooker. But, you know, they can only do so much every week. It's a television programme at the end of the day. You don't watch Breaking Bad to think that every week something huge is... No, somebody's not dying every week in Breaking Bad. Yeah. Something big's not happening every week. You've got to have the episodes like Fly. You've got to have the episodes where it's build up to what's happening in 3 episodes' time, because it's television.
And saying that, you also don't want to tune into Breaking Bad and everyone just turns out to be all right. Something might happen and then it just doesn't. So, I'm not excited about Saturday night's main event.
I'll tell you what, though, Billy. I'll tell you what. At least this is the last one for a while, by the looks of things. We are told that there's going to be 5 a year. This is the first of the year. Right. The second hasn't been announced yet, so I don't think it'll be any time soon. Maybe they'll try and squeeze one in at around Mania season, but that's not till April, so I think we're clear of it for a couple of months, which is good.
They used to chuck them on like just before SummerSlams and what have you as well, so maybe I don't know, will this become like the precursor? Do we get like a Saturday night's main event, do we get a Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and then Mania? That's a lot of fucking wrestling in 1 week. That's a lot of fucking wrestling in 1 week.
Huge amount of wrestling. Huge amount.